It's like the whole reason you go to the dirt track. You go there to see some fist fights and wrecks. That's the whole reason you go, right?
Yeah, but I go for the women. Nothing like those dirt track women.
There's nothing like okay, so yeah, there's nothing like ketchup on ice cream, and there's nothing like dirt track women, because those are not the type of women. Like, just because there's nothing like it doesn't mean that it's good.
Okay, so speaking of women, so I went salsa dancing last night.
Tell me about that.
Okay, so I've got Latinos figured out.
Okay.
Latino men. I've got them figured out. They thought they were fooling me, and they did for a while, but I figured it out.
Okay.
If you were a Latino man,
mm-hmm.
and you were under 5'7", you just get really good at salsa dancing. Like, and that's your ticket to like women, because they were like all these like short king Latino dudes in there just twirling all these white girls. I mean, like it wasn't nothing.
Yeah.
Like it was it was just easy peasy. And there I am. Like, I'm not a tall, I ain't dunking no time soon.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like a head taller than pretty much every dude in here, looking like my pacey ass looking like a conquistador. I'm like, damn, like y'all really hit a lick with this shit. And because it's like it was in Asheville, so they're the kind of girls that, especially the kind of white girls you see in Asheville, so they're twirling all these girls with armpit hair and shit, but still they're twirling these girls.
They went home. They went home with them armpit hair.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. And you know what? Good for them. I'm glad.
But yeah, man, like, okay, so when you think what you just said that, think about like that one time. You remember when we went to the Frontier?
Yeah, I do remember that.
All right.
Okay, so the Frontier, for anyone who doesn't know, you can explain.
No, I was gonna let you do it. Okay. You tell our loving audience what the Frontier was.
So the Frontier was a, I mean, I guess you call them a honky tonk, right? That's really what they like. So it's a bar, but it's a bar where like they have a lot of like live country music and people do line dancing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of, I mean, a lot of people call them honky tonks. You don't see them much anymore, and there are much nicer ones in the Frontier. The Frontier is like in a strip mall.
Yeah,
like it wasn't.
You can tell
it wasn't the highest class like line dancing place you could go to, but it was a pretty popular spot in like the 80s for sure. Yeah, it was big. Yeah, I mean, like our parents, that was the place to be.
You could definitely tell that used to be a grocery store, is what I'm saying. You could definitely walk in there and be like, yeah, this used to be like a fucking grocery store. But
this Diamond Rio cover band's playing where the produce section used to be.
Fucking, where you want a beer? You want a beer? That's definitely in the meat section. But no, when we went like, and I'll never forget the story. It was your brother. We was talking about going out somewhere, and he just like came like hit him like a lightning bolt. I was there. I sit there and said, he goes, guys, not 2 blocks down the road, there is a bar that is packed every night that we have never been to. And we were like, and me and you were looking at each other going like, what bar is this? And he goes, the Frontier. And the way he said it is how I imagine like explorers said that same word. The Frontier.
About the actual frontier.
Yeah, about the actual the Frontier. And he made it seem like there was something undiscovered there. Like, and I'll give it to your brother, man. Like, he's like, in all things, he's like, if a lot of people are into it, he's going to be like, well, I'll need to see what it's about. And he'll make his own assumptions on that. But he'll just be like, everybody likes it. I want to see why. And he'll come back and be like, I don't know why anybody likes that. And so we went to the frontier, and every dude that had on cowboy boots and one of those Western shirts and a cowboy hat had was danced with like 17 girls. Now,
yeah.
Now I will not say that these they were definitely there was a lot of threes and a handful of sixes. They weren't like the best looking girls, but they all had constant string of bitches around them basically. So yeah. I spent all this time trying to learn how to play guitar and sound smart, and I should have just been learning how to fucking dance if I wanted to get bitches.
I mean, really, yeah. Like I was saying, these salsa clubs, Asheville has a certain, I don't want to get into politics, but it has a certain type of personality there. Yeah. And the type of person, the kind of person that you're going to run into in Asheville is going to be like a college student, usually a white college student who believes in things like personal space, So, and salsa clubs or salsa dancing nights or bachata clubs, a lot of these Latino places specifically.
Yeah.
These dudes, they just grab girls and start dancing. Every time I've been to a place like this, it is like a polar opposite of a club you'd go to where a lot of hipster white people are.
Instead of going, would you like to dance? They're just like, get up, bitch.
Yeah, they snatch them and go at it.
They just grab a girl and go, get up, bitch. It's
and they throw.
They're like, I don't even know what I'm doing. You're about to learn today.
Yeah, I mean, and there was a lot of people there like that had no idea what they were doing, and these dudes, I mean, they were killing it. They were all 5'6" and could dance really well. And I'm like, God, am I this is so much cooler than any other kind of dance club you go to. But also, like you said, it kind of still exists in the honky tonks. If you know how to line dance. Now that being said, in the honky tonks they do stop and do the wobble and stuff too.
I mean,
but if you know how to line dance and you go to the honky tonk, you gonna have a fun time. I mean, really, you're gonna twirl every single alligator skinned tannin bed, grandma there.
Oh yeah, dude. It's just every white lipstick grandma is gonna be out there. Yeah. But it's funny because the cowboy approach, right? Is they just go up to a girl and start dancing around them until they just start dancing back. They don't just grab her, come dance with me. They sitting there with their thumbs in their belt loops dancing around the girl. The girl like, okay, I'll dance.
Yeah. Well, see, at the salsa clubs they'll do that. They just go snatch them. Well, I mean, they do ask and say, hey, let's dance, but it's very if you're good at dancing at a salsa club, you're going to dance with every single woman there.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen. And that's cool. It's a fun time. But it's, it is different. And to kind of what you're talking about, there is also so you got the guys on the honky tonks that have they have their Stetson hats and their cowboy shirts and whatever. Yeah. Well, there is the Mexican auxiliary to that guy too. And he is my favorite person. The the sparkly Mexican cowboy.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I went to school, high school stuff. I went to a what they call a redneck high school, and a lot of guys had Stetson hats, but they wore Ariat boots.
Yeah,
and that kind of shit. But the Mexican cowboys with their pointy-toed cowboy boots, and they got the bedazzled jeans, and those guys.
Heavyweight champion of the world belt.
Yeah, they got a ridiculous belt buckle. Those guys, those are the best. Those are the best version of the cowboy.
Yeah,
the kind of guy that you're going to see hanging out. If you're going to see a dude in a cowboy hat,
Yeah.
That's the one you want to see, because that guy, there was a quinceañera up the street a couple months ago. And I mean, there was probably 60 of those dudes walking in this place. Every one of them had 2 cases of Modelo walking inside this place.
Of course.
You know?
And I guarantee you, they had like the crispest, what's that? Dude, why am I fucking brain farting right now? Crease. They had the crispest.
Oh yeah.
In their dude, I know how they look.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's solid.
It's like if you imagine a cowboy and a pimp got together, you know. If you took fucking John Wayne, right, and Bishop Don the Magic Wand, and you made him do that fusion dance from Dragon Ball Z, you have the Mexican Vaquero cowboy guy.
Yeah,
dude, he's a good guy.
Yeah,
and wherever he is today, he is great. I guarantee you, he is drunk today.
Yeah, he better be. They like Thursdays for some reason. There's like this whole thing in like Latinos do, where it's like Happy Thursday. I forget what the name for Thursday is in Spanish, but
I was gonna sing the song and figure it out.
But it's like, you'll see, like, if you go on Twitter and stuff, like there'll be these guys. It's always like Latino dudes. It's like Happy Thursday. They're like popping beers and shit.
I don't know. Like, maybe it's like, oh man, like maybe that's why I like every like Latino guy I've worked with. You said that, and maybe that's why a lot of the Latino men I've worked with, like, they was done on Friday. Like, you go on Friday and you're like, you know, when you go to work on Friday, there's a little bit of motivation because you're like, yeah, this is Friday. Let's get this shit over with. So I can get ready to go drink. But like a lot of times you'll talk to the Latino man, they're like, dude, it's Friday. Can we just fucking chill? And I'm like, yeah, it's Friday. Let's get this shit done. Let's go.
That's because they started drinking yesterday.
Yeah, it's because they were fucking tying one on yesterday. And you ask him, like, dude, your cousin that works here, where is he? Oh, he called out. Now I know why. Now I fucking know why. He hit the sauce a little too hard. He's like, nah, I can't make it.
That's when, I mean, you just make every weekend a long weekend.
I mean, look, I feel like if you put up 40 before you even hit Friday, you should be able to just take Friday. I mean,
but you know, they get rowdy. You know, the Latinos. That's probably why, like, I feel like I'm spiritually Latino a lot of times, because every time I've like hung out, like at a Latino party or whatever, it's been some of the funnest time I've ever had.
I've never really been to a Latino party. As much Latino people I've hung out with, I've never been to one.
So Josh got invited to a quinceañera one time. This is a pretty funny story.
Of course Josh would. I mean, of course he would.
And, you know, like, you know, Josh, like he shows up, like he's a good looking dude, you know, whatever. Yeah. So the Latinos are like, you need to find you a girl here, right? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, you see that girl over there? And he's like, yeah. He's like, she looks good, right? She's like, yeah, she looks good. And he's like, but she also makes tortillas. like all these girls you see that look good, they all make tortillas.
Yeah, they're all.
He's like, man, you ain't got it. I mean, you ain't got to sell me, really. I believe you.
They all homemade. They don't go to the store and buy that shit.
But like, so another salsa story I have. It's pretty funny. Several years ago, back when you go to some bars, you had to give them your card to like start a tab. Like, you'd actually hand them your debit card to start a tab.
Jesus,
I know, right? And I've left my card. I got drunk and I left my card there. And I didn't realize till like the next day when I was at work or something.
Yeah.
So anyways, I got to go by and get my card after work. And it wasn't like a Latino bar or anything. It was just like a standard like bar that we was at.
Yeah.
Well, the next day when I went back to go get my card, it was salsa night.
Oh. At
this random bar. So I was like, oh, okay. So I go get my card. They're like, do you want to like, well, they had to go find it or something.
Yeah.
It was like a bigger deal than it should have been. But I was like, all right, well, give me a beer and I'll hang out. And this like 60-year-old Puerto Rican lady like locked eyes with me from across the room. Like she wanted to twirl. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I said, well, I'd hate to leave a lady waiting, you know. So I walked over there and I started dancing with this, you know, I'm not real good at salsa dancing, but I know the basics.
Yeah.
And, so we're dancing and she's like talking to me. She's like, 4'11" and like 6-inch heels. So she comes up to like my chest and she's like looking up at me.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you're pretty good at dancing. I was like, yeah, I know a little bit. And, she goes, I think I've danced with you before. I'm going to tell you, I've not danced with so many 60-year-old Puerto Rican women that I would at least count. So I was pretty sure in the situation that, in fact, I had not danced with this lady before. I was like, I don't think so. She's like, no, I think I have. And I'm like, I'm getting hit on by a 60-year-old Puerto Rican lady.
Yeah.
Like, and like I'm not even 40 yet, and I go to bed at 8:30.
Yeah.
And this lady is 60 years old. It's like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And she's like trying to woo the conquistador. You know what I mean? That's an outlaw spirit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Like, how do you?
I've danced with you before. No, you didn't. Yeah, I did. That's a weird way to hit on somebody.
Yeah, she was insistent on the fact that she had danced with me specifically, little old me.
Yeah, like, ma'am, I this marks number 5 salsa dance I've ever done, and I'm gonna be real. Like 3 of them were with my girlfriend. So, unless I danced with you twice, which I know I didn't.
Yeah, but I don't. Oh damn, this lady's rowdy. But good on her. I'm glad she still got that spirit.
I mean, she's got old ladies get horny too, man.
So we could show up early. Like it's like 9:15 till 10 was the lessons.
Yeah.
So like, and actually, it was actually pretty good lessons. They like really went in depth on it, but it was like a little like 5'5" Mexican dude or Hispanic dude, and then like the teacher, the woman teacher, was a white lady, and she was like taller than me.
Huh?
Yeah. So
they had a white lady teaching you.
Yeah, I mean, she was good.
I mean, no doubt she was, but I got to be real. If I go to a salsa dancing place and a white lady shows up, I'm gonna be like, this ain't gonna be good. Like, I don't have preconceived notions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, if it was a Latino lady and a white dude, I'd be like, all right, here we go. But if it's like,
so what they do is like they show us like the guy comes over, shows like what the guy does, and the girl goes over, shows what the girl does, and then like paired us up with girls. And then so we kind of went through the motions and everything. And then every like round or whatever, we'd switch. It was like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like you had to go through a partner every few minutes.
Yeah.
So like, and I got this one girl who's like, she was drunk before she got there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she's like this little skinny little like, and she's in heels, like she looks like she's about to like break her ankle.
God,
and she comes over, I'm like, she's like, oh, that's pretty good. And then she goes, I go, I think that was right. We did something fancy, and I was like, I think that was right. And she goes, well, salsa dancing really is just about making the girl look hot. And I'm like, bitch, I'm the hot one in this situation. First off, okay. Look, let's get this straight. And 2, I was just being nice. I knew that was right. So
1, bitch. Listen to me. 1, bitch. You don't ever talk shit about my salsa dancing.
After I got off the phone with you, when you confided in me that you don't like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Which you're my homeboy. We'll get through this. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay. We'll make it. We'll make it through this. I promise.
It's like I told you, I don't believe in Jesus. Which I mean, really, if you don't like Chick-fil-A,
I mean, it's the Lord's chicken.
I mean, well, Anyway, your story.
Anyway, so the whole reason why I was even at Chick-fil-A and calling you to begin with is because I had to go one town over to go to the T-Mobile shop.
Okay.
Because I was going to talk to them. You know how much my internet is?
Probably too much, but...
So I found out today, well, one of my router was going out. So, this is what started the whole thing. I was like, the little Chinese kids they put inside my router died. So my router stopped working. so I gotta buy some new Chinese kids, and I was like, a router's, they're like a decent one's $150. So I was like, let me see if they have that home 5G, because I've heard that people's been switching to that. So I was like, I'll go to T-Mobile and talk to them about it, which is funny because like last night, this is how you tell you're getting old, right? Mm-hmm. Last night I was like talking to the wife. I said, I gotta go to bed early. I gotta go to T-Mobile tomorrow.
I got a day ahead of me, baby. I gotta go to T-Mobile.
I gotta turn in early. I'm going to T-Mobile.
Remember those days where go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was like, you remember those days like we used to like go out and party until like 10, like 11:30 at night, then wake up and then go to work at like 7 a.m. the next day, and then like, hey, you want to go out and party till midnight again? Yeah. Now we gotta like plan our whole fucking day around a trip to Walmart or some bullshit. Well, I gotta get there early.
Yeah, I don't want to be showing up, when all the riffraff gets there, which leads me to this story.
Okay.
So I go to the Chick-fil-A, I get me some. I told them to throw the pickles on that number one, and I ate it, and then I go to the T-Mobile shop. And as I'm walking in, I'm passing by what I believe was a 1998 Buick, white Buick, okay? And there's a gentleman standing outside the driver's side door talking to the person who's driving. The gentleman had like when your hair's long-ish, but you shave it underneath.
Oh, the undercut?
Yeah, so he had that pulled back into like a little man bun on the back of his head.
Yeah.
Had some old English tattoos on his neck. Okay. I believe he had on something similar to Jinko's. It couldn't have been Jinko's. I mean, this guy was like 45, so maybe it was Jinko's, but you know what I mean? Like he had on baggy pants and a basketball jersey. He looked like the bass player to Korn. Is what basically what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He looked like a dude that he's old enough to have played in a new metal band when new metal was popping off.
Okay. All right. I know this. Did he have a ball chain necklace too?
I believe he did.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think he had on shell top Adidas.
Oh wow.
But he had a backpack or whatever, and he looked a little bit distraught. You know what I mean? Like he looked like maybe he wasn't having a good day. Which, when I looked at him, I'll look and see that someone who has had a series of unfortunate days. You know what I mean? This guy.
What a fucking series of unfortunate events happened here. Oh shit.
Anyway, but whatever. Like, he's my people. Like, I identify with this group of people. Yeah. So I go inside. Unbeknownst to me, I was walking into a story that I would soon become a third party character to this story, right?
All right.
So I walk in, the young T-Mobile girl, she greets me. She's like, "Hey, what are you here for?" I tell her about my internet issue, about my dead Chinese kids, about talking, just like shooting shit. Like, is this gonna work? I'm trying to get to my house, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And she's like, she's got her tablet out. She's going over the thing. They do with these stores. Like, she's like, yeah, they'll put in your address and talk me about prices and stuff. I said, okay. There is a woman, probably in her late 30s or 40s, that's talking to the other attendant, and she looks like she's had a few supersized meals.
All right.
And her day, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure she had on a Rick and Morty t-shirt.
She never a lady that never turns down free donuts. Got you.
Yeah. Okay, you know what I mean? So what, the type of lady. You've met this woman. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's talking and she's more or less pleasant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the dude comes inside, and apparently this is the young lady who likes the Big Macs is apparently betrothed to this young bass player gentleman. So what I stumbled upon a relationship. Okay, whatever, it happens. You've seen these type of people. Anyway, he just starts flipping out.
All right.
Right. He throws something at the attendant lady, like throws something down on the counter, like really abrasively, like
yeah,
and like starts yelling like "fuck this," like he's like getting worked up.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's about to become the Dark Carnival right here in front of me.
He's about to go.
Yeah. This guy might start like new metal rapping at me. I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm just like more or less trying to ignore it, because sometimes I get ahead of myself and I feel like I've reached terminal velocity and that I've escaped the white trash.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't, but I like to convince myself something. Anyway, so he walks outside, he's yelling. Turns out the person he was talking to when I first walked up was his grandmother who was driving the 1998 Buick.
Mm-hmm.
So he walks outside and starts yelling at the grandmother, walks back inside, starts yelling at his, young betrothed lady, yells at the attendant. I think he like takes one of the display phones that they were showing him. Like they had one that he was like looking at. I think he walks outside with it. And she's like, you can't do that. And he's like, comes back inside with it. And like, he's still cussing and like throwing shit and like, well, fuck this, fuck all that. And the lady who's like got her tablet out talking to me puts the tablet down and she just like, if you're going to be like that, you need to get the hell out of here. Like, you just need to go, like, basically like lays into him like she let her white trash. She was like, it's like, you ain't going to be in here yelling and throwing stuff and cussing. If you're going to be like, hey, you need to get on out of here. And I was like, damn. I don't know what's happening. Like, I'm just standing here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like I should have saw this coming. You know what I
mean? Look, man. Look, ain't nothing that'll bring the worst out of people in general than the phone store.
It's something about T-Mobile too. I feel like I hear more like ratchet stories in T-Mobile.
Well, it's like
or Boost, for reasons, but
well, I mean, I use Boost. Of course I do because I'm white trash. But no, like I've been in like the fucking AT&T store, all the stores. You're gonna see the worst. Like it brings out the worst in some people. Like you'll come in, it's like, why the fuck's my phone turned off? And you're like, well, you're behind on the bill. It's like, but I just paid it. I paid it. I just paid it. Why is it off? It's like, well, there has to be a time for reconnection. It's usually 15 minutes to 2 hours. I can't be waiting 2 fucking hours for my phone to be off. And you're like, and I'm like, dude, like, why? Like, I don't understand why people do that. They'll yell at like the customer service people like they can do something about it. They're like, your phone, I'm sorry, it takes 2 hours for it. It was like, well, why come you ain't fixing it? And you're like, sir, because I'm not the one sitting behind the giant computer switchboard saying this phone on, this phone off. I'm just the guy you come to like when you want the phone. I feel like if like they should they should like when the guys start flipping their shit like that, they should like that should be the thing. It's like, look, man, I just sell the phone, man. Like, you said you wanted an iPhone. I got you the iPhone. It's not really my fault that the iPhone falls apart. You said, I want an iPhone. What's the best one? And I was like, well, this is the most expensive one. And you said, yeah, okay. And now you're mad at me. I mean, you bought the fucking anyway.
If you can't afford your $50 phone bill, maybe you should have got the $1,300 iPhone.
I know, right?
But no, that happened. Something similar happened to me right when I first moved out here. We was in line at the cookout. It was like a Friday night. And we was in line at the cookout. And It was backed up. It was a new cookout. So it'd only been there like a few weeks anyway. So they probably nobody's fully staffed. You're waiting everywhere you go. Whatever.
Yeah.
But when you see a line wrapped around a cookout, if you make the conscious decision to pull into that cookout, I feel like you should know that you're going to be waiting.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep that in mind when I tell you the rest of the story about what this guy does. So we're pulling, we're in the line. We order, whatever it was we got. And we're at the one on the outside.
Yeah.
Where you have to like turn over the other lane to get to the window.
Yeah.
So. And the people in front of us, it's like actually at the window around the corner. We're next. We're the ones that's going to turn next. And they're already at the window. And it was taking a while. I mean, we probably waited for that car for probably 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, so it's like 7:30 when we pull into this place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like 7:40 as we're like getting up there.
Mm-hmm.
And every time, and so like you can see the other window, they open up the door, the window to like hand people their food.
Yeah.
And they're moving along a little bit faster. Something was up with the guys in front of us. Whatever, ain't got nowhere to be. That's fine. However, the guy behind me did have somewhere to be.
Mm-hmm.
And he sticks his head out the window every time, like they open the door. So like this young girl, she's like 17, she like opens the window to hand this old lady a milkshake.
Yeah.
And this dude behind us in a pickup truck, like hangs out the window like a Labrador, like going down the freeway, like full, he's full out here, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, hi. And I think she closed the window, like she caught it at the end and shows the window, and then he like hung out the door waiting on her to open a window back up to give like the next old lady a milkshake.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, what's taking so long? And my wife, who's driving, I think she thinks he's talking to us, like which I'm like, okay, what is she? So she sticks her head out the window, and she goes, we're waiting on the car in front of us, and he's like, I'm asking her. He's talking to like the little, this poor young girl they've hired to like do this job. And he's like, hey, what's taking? Like he's like mad. What's taking so long? Oh my god! And she's like, he's like, we're just short staffed. Like she yells at him back. We're short staffed. We're doing the best we can. Everybody's new. And he's like, I gotta be somewhere at 8. I gotta be somewhere at 8. He just keeps yelling, I gotta be somewhere at 8. You know what I mean? Like he pulled into this, like it's fucking, this place is rocking. Like it's wrapped around thing. He pulls in after 7:30 because we pulled there at 7:30. He's a couple cars behind us. Why did you do that?
I gotta be somewhere at 8. Damn it, if I lose my job, it's your fault, cookout people. I lose my goddamn job, it's your fault.
It's like, I gotta be like you should have went past the cookout if you had to be somewhere so bad.
You're like, man, I hope this 7-Eleven still got pizza on the damn bar. I'll be all right, White trash people they do freak out. Like over
they like white trash people get this in their head like they're a royalty or something. When it comes to customer service, they'll be like they'll just flip out on somebody that like a high school kid that's working at the grocery store or something.
Yeah,
and like some damn bag or whatever is not right. Just like lose your shit and start freaking out. Like I've seen multiple public freakouts of white trash people just like losing their shit on people that have no control over situations.
Yeah, yeah, like women with like IQ, their IQ and their number of teeth are about the same level. Literally like ball up a whole bag of a McDonald's order and just chunk it into a young person's face. They'd be like, you like that? You eat them goddamn fries? I don't fucking think so.
Yeah, they it's a dark spot in our culture. I have to admit. But and the funniest thing about it is I actually talked to a guy who like seemed like I heard this guy freak out one time. Or no, I didn't hear him. He was telling me a story about he freaked out. I guess he was proud of this moment. But he's like, blah blah blah. I don't know, whatever it was. It's like it's always at a restaurant or a fucking cell phone store. You know what I mean? So he's like, and I was like, why did you that person had no control over that? Why did you freak out on them? He said, because he said this. I shit you not. He said, when I go out to a restaurant and I'm getting service, I demand excellence. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Motherfucker! Out there like a fucking SEC football coach. I demand excellence. Like he's fucking Steve Spurrier and he's out there arguing with the damn Gamecocks. Like, we're going to get this championship. Motherfucker, it's Applebee's, dude.
Like that Bojangles girl